Welcome. I am your Polkadot Specialist Var, and today we're going to go over Sony's blockchain, which is Soneium, and what that means to the Astar network and kind of how they're intertwined. And also, we're going to go a little bit into something called the Search program, which deals with the connection between Soneium and Astar network. So, if you like this particular episode, please like and subscribe. It'd be highly appreciated. So I wanted to do this particular episode because I wanted to kind of do a kind of like the state of Astar and the network and a lot of different things I'm hearing within the community. And so I thought it'd be a great idea to do a video on my thoughts and ideas behind it. I did look into some of the different podcasts and videos that Soda, which is the architect and the person that started Astar Network, and he's also been the one in discussions with a lot of Sony's team in bringing forth Sony's blockchain called Soneium. So there's been a lot of different things that's happened since the announcement of Sony's blockchain. So I wanted to go into first the positives, and then I'm going to go into some things that I see from my perspective on how it is currently impacting Astar Network. So right now, Sony, if you haven't heard, has decided to get into crypto space and make their own blockchain. Now the team that is going to be doing the development for this blockchain right now is currently a testnet, is the same team that is over Astar Network. So that's where the correlation between Sony and Soneium blockchain and Astar. So Astar, which the group, the development group behind Astar is Startale, and Startale is the one that's building out Sony's blockchain. So this is a big deal because Sony's a big company overall. You know, it has a worldwide brand, from PlayStation to all the different things that it does with tech, electronics, things along those lines. So it's very big overall. It even has phones and everything, a whole distribution channel. And this could bring a lot of people into crypto by using a lot of the resources that Sony has to kind of get the word out about crypto and how it works. Now, they could do it in a way where it's very easy, where you don't even know that you're using crypto. And that's the next step, is for crypto to be very user friendly, where you don't even know that you're using crypto. And Sony, having its money and resources and development teams and all types of different things, will be able to help overall. So because they're such a big company, worldwide brand, Astar being affiliated with it and Astar's team building out Sony's blockchain can be a very big deal depending on how everything is implemented. So let's go into a little bit of some more along the line. So what does it mean for Astar Network? So let's go into some of the positives. So Astar Network is currently, it is on the Polkadot ecosystem. It's the main place. If you don't know what Astar is, I'll go ahead and I will put a link here describing what Astar is. But essentially, it's a place that builders can make dApps or apps, kind of like the ones you have on your phone, that can do different things, from finance to pictures, which are called NFTs, all types of different things. So you can build out different things and make apps on Astar. So it's the core hub that you can build on Polkadot if you want to make an app. Now, It's broken. That's one of its uses. It's broken into two things that it does. So not only does it do dApps or apps, it also helps with Ethereum to help its transactions be cheaper. Make a long story short, Ethereum has a problem with it has too many users, and since it's old technology, it's having a problem scaling. So a lot of times the cost to be able to do transactions, to be able to use something, to use an app might cost a lot of money. And Astar has something called a layer 2 that helps these things to try to solve this problem. So Astar essentially is two things. It is a solution for Ethereum to help its fees be cheaper. And it also is the main place that people build applications on the Polkadot ecosystem. So those are the two things. Now, they originally had built out on something called Polygon to be able to do this layer 2 solution. Okay. They put a lot of resources in that. You know, they had a lot of teams started to build on that particular Polygon technology. Then when Sony did the okay that they want to do the blockchain, now they're kind of abandoning that particular strategy with Polygon. Now, I was listening to Soda, and he said it's not like it's going to go away overnight. You know, teams over there, they'll probably have a year or two, but still, a lot of people put a lot of resources and time to try to do something on Polygon. But then they shift gears. Now, I do understand Sony is a big deal. So Sony is going to be built on the OP stack, which is called Optimism. Not to go too far into it, Optimism is connected to a lot of big projects, but the main thing that so far that will be a positive for the Astar token will be that Optimism has something called a super chain, which just means that normally the different technologies have a difficulty working with each other. But with Optimism, it allows them to communicate very easy. Okay, so some big projects will kind of go into a few of those that are on there that kind of help. But the coin is going to have an opportunity to be very interoperable with a lot of different technologies. So that's one of the good things about this. So let's go into a few of these particular technologies that the Astar token will be able to move amongst. So most notable is Base. So Base is Coinbase. Coinbase is a gigantic exchange, the #1 exchange in the United States. And because of that, it has total value locked in terms of money put into it is $12 billion in that particular technology. So that's built on Optimism, which is the OP stack. OP stack mainnet, as you can see here, that has pretty much 7 billion, so $6.98 billion. And then you have World Chain. So World Chain is kind of like it deals with like identity, you know, to have this to have identity on the blockchain. That one could be a little controversial because a lot of times people don't want their identities tied to, you know, where you have no privacy and stuff. But essentially, this is a way of confirming who somebody is online with digital IDs. A couple other ones that are notable. Now there's over 60. There's over 60 different blockchains, which is big. Okay, so that means there is a lot of interoperability with the Astar coin. Okay, but just a couple other ones. So you also have this built on Bitcoin. That's Bob. I did a video on Bob as well. So Bob was a technology that was built with Interlay. Interlay was also a Polkadot team as well. But essentially Bob is going to give Bitcoin some additional uses where you can do decentralized finance and get interest on your Bitcoin. So it's pretty much a financial layer for Bitcoin. There are a few other projects doing that, but this is the one on OP Stack that is using Bitcoin's technology, Ethereum's technology, and Optimism together to build on Bitcoin, to have a market for Bitcoin and different functionality there. So that's a big one there. And then the final one that I kind of wanted to point out was Soneium. Final one I wanted to point out was Soneium. So Soneium's 41 on here. It hasn't even launched yet, but it's going to be pretty big. As you can see, it's here right now. So it says 41 at the moment, and it's only on the testnet. So it's going to be pretty big overall, when it does launch. So just Astar being tied to Sony is going to kind of help. Now, something that I see that's going on is now this community is split. The big difference between when Astar network was building on Polygon, when you did transactions, the Astar token was going to be burnt, and there was some interaction. Now, what ended up happening is the way Astar works, okay, when it comes to developing on Astar, one of the big selling points is something called dApp staking. dApp staking. Now, what is dApp staking? That means if you have a project or an app or a dApp and it's built on Astar, what you would do is you could take the amount of Astar coins that you have, or the Astar coins. You can use either one in some cases. And there's special ways that you can pretty much utilize that coin to support your project. So if you like a particular project like Astar Degens or whatever project that may be on Astar, you could place your coin to support that project. And that project and that team will be able to get some revenues, be able to get something called dApp income based on how popular they were. Now, what ended up happening, there was something called V3. Try not to go too deep into this. I feel like I'm already getting a little deep. But essentially with V3, it limited the amount of money that teams were going to get from this income. And the popularity became more strict. Okay, so you would have to hit certain tiers to get a certain amount. All right, so the issue with this is now with Sony's blockchain, Astar Network is now supporting Sony's blockchain, which is fine, which is great. But the only issue is they got 150 million coins that is now supporting Sony's blockchain. Now, this wouldn't be a problem if there wasn't the dApp staking mechanism, where now this liquidity, now this money and these resources and the supplies that we have for the Astar coin is being split between the different communities. This 150 million coins was probably taken from a dApp or an app on the Astar network, and now that particular team is no longer making the money they were making. So essentially it's cannibalizing the Astar network's dApps, because now you got split communities. Now, so it shows you that on Soneium, they call it Surge campaign, that you could pretty much take some of your Astar and support the projects on this platform. So you got Stake Finance, you got KYO Finance, you got this Sonex Technology, Untitled Bank, and Yay. Okay, and as you can see, they're all being supported with Astar and the Astar. Okay, and again, I like Sony. I think it's going to be a great partnership, but I think there's some things that need tweaked, because the teams that are built on Astar network are now going to be suffering if they don't have enough coins to reach a certain tier to get payouts. And essentially that's one of the big selling points for the Astar network is dApp staking income. Now, these people that go ahead and stake on here, they will get some vouchers or points, and then probably get airdropped some coins from upstarting some of these projects. And it would have been great if maybe there was new investors that bought the Astar coin, but generally in crypto, that way it works. It's liquidity or money or coins just move from one ecosystem to another ecosystem. So what I see overall, and I wanted to kind of show this. So this is the different tiers. Okay, this is on Astar. This is the main Astar network on the Polkadot ecosystem. So as you can see here, you have all these different dApps. Now the threshold right now is you have to have 60 million Astar coins just to hit a decent tier to get a payout. Okay, so as you can see, these money, this Astar, since it's not being kept in the ecosystem for total value locked, it's elsewhere on the Sony blockchain. And that's going to hurt teams be able to have the resources necessary to make upgrades, to gain staking rewards, and things of that nature. Now, what I would like to see happen is for Sony's blockchain. Right now, the only way I can really see this really working out for Astar is if Sony's blockchain somehow was going to utilize the Astar coin. Now that would be phenomenal. Like just like how it was with Polygon. You know, where the Astar coin gets burned in the background for every transaction, or the Astar coin is the main coin that you use to pay gas fees. But that's not the case currently. The current way that it's set up is you would use Ethereum because it is a layer 2 solution on Ethereum. So you use Ethereum to do your transactions. So because of this, I'm not sure how this will really benefit Astar. Because a lot of times when dApps are put out on other, like Soneium or another blockchain, they'll normally have their own coin. So unless Astar has a real use case on Sony's blockchain, I don't see how this will benefit the Astar holders and the Astar coin overall. So that's going to be the challenge. Soda said this was high on his priority to get utility on Sony's blockchain. So that's the one thing I would say about that. You know, overall, it's like we are putting a lot of resources in Sony's blockchain, which is great for Sony, but how does that help the Astar network? How does that help the developers on Astar? Now, there will be a lot of interoperability. I do believe because Startale is building out Sony's blockchain that they realize these things. And so if there was ever going to be a resource or coin that was integrated within Sony's blockchain other than Ethereum, I'm pretty sure it would most likely be Astar. So hopefully there's some type of interoperability with the particular coin, that there's real use cases that can be utilized on Sony's blockchain, and that it could be one of the main driving sources to create a demand for the Astar coin. So that's the hope. I only see it really helping if there's some type of burn per each transaction of some sort. Because again, Astar network and the community is really helping this blockchain get started. And I don't see how it really will help the coin at the moment. I do think that they'll have some different interoperability to be able to go, like I showed, amongst all the different technologies that are going to be part of the super chain, the OP super chain, the Optimism super chain. I get that. You know, there's a lot of coins that are interoperable, a lot of different chains, but that doesn't mean they're going to get used. Just because you have the ability to put them there doesn't mean they're going to get used. So we have to figure out what the future is overall. So there's a lot of smart people working on it. I trust Soda. He's a really good overall, smart guy overall. So I do believe he's going to try to figure things out. To me, I really do feel as though that there's too much focus on the Sony's blockchain. And I know that they're trying to roll it out rather soon. But unless there is some integration to the Astar coin really tied to that blockchain, it's using so many resources and it's taking so much liquidity from the Astar chain, you know, that different dApps that used to get support are now left without finances to be able to generate income. Is really hurting the Astar network. So at some point, I think they are going to try to bring everything together, you know, and these are growing pains and challenges to try to overcome, you know, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the different utility and how that Sony blockchain uses Astar coin, really uses it. So it has to be some real use case. If not, then it's just going to suck all of the assets and coins and things that are on the Astar network, and people are just going to switch over to Sony's blockchain. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully there's some real back and forth. You know, hopefully Astar will be the bridge to the OP stack for the Polkadot network. And, that's a great thing. You know, everything starts over there on the Astar network and then kind of branches out. But we'll see. Right now, that's kind of what I see. And I'm looking forward to seeing how things turn out overall. Because I do believe Astar is pretty much one of the vital products, vital chains on the Polkadot ecosystem. Between Astar, Hydra, DX, Mythical games. Those three are really, really, really important. Phala can be really important as well when it comes to compute. So those are some different things off the top of my head and some of the projects that I'm invested in overall. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts? How do you see things playing out? Am I seeing it wrong? Is there another perspective? Let me know. I am your Polkadot Specialist Vol. Appreciate you listening to my content. Please like and subscribe. Be highly, highly appreciated. Have a blessed day and happy holidays.